Hello and welcome back to Bookmark Chronicles. Today I'm doing my February TBR. However, before I get into that, let's do our annual things we're not going to do during Black History Month. You would think that this conversation wouldn't still need to be had, but we all know that that's not the case. So let's start off with something that you should actually do all the time. If you were talking about something that is specific to the Black community or the Black experience, then you should say Black, not BIPOC. They are not the same. They are not synonymous. They cannot be used interchangeably. Next, don't bother making a TBR full of books by Black authors if you're not going to read it. It's performative. Don't bother. If you wanted to read books by Black authors, you would have done it already and you didn't. That is a choice that you made. Are there people who are going to call you out for not reading diversely? Maybe. Should you be reading diversely for multiple reasons? Yeah. Should you unpack your anti-Blackness and what it is that makes you think that you can't relate to stories about Black characters? Yes, but that's not my problem, so do what you want. Nobody's forcing you to read diversely. And again, some people may be upset about it and call you out, but that's the choice that you made. Next, we've been talking about this for 4 years now, but don't go on a follow spree of a bunch of Black creators just for you to unfollow them later. Your feed, your timeline, your For You page, all of that is curated by you and what you watch and what you interact with. So I don't want to hear, oh, well, I can't find Black creators on this platform. We're all here on all platforms. It's not that you can't find us, you just don't want to take the time to search for us. And I don't want to hear that you don't have time to find new creators either, because if you're watching your 10th video on that Sarah J. Maas series that you've read 4 times, that is time that you could be using to look for different content creators. A lot of people complain about seeing the same things over and over again. It's the same people over and over again. Okay, but what are you doing about it? These last 2 in particular really fucking irk my soul. If you're going to make a TBR with books for Black History Month, Liz Tom Ford better not be on that fucking list. The fact that y'all will flock to Mile High but refuse to pick up an actual Black romance is fucking baffling. And no, that book is not considered Black romance because Liz Tom Ford is not Black. If you don't understand what qualifies as Black romance, I have an entire video on it. I will have that linked for you. Don't put that book on a fucking Black History Month rec list. Don't put it on any sort of diversity rec list. And lastly, for the love of God, stop calling 7 Days in June a fucking romance. Y'all are the reason that people say they don't want to read Black love because it's always associated with some sort of struggle or trauma. That book is not a fucking romance. Just because 2 people fuck in a book does not automatically make it a romance. Like I said, if you need more context, you can watch that video that I have on Black love, but this shit has to stop. Y'all are the fucking problem. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get into my TBR. So again, one of my goals for the year is to read down my physical TBR. And in order to do that, I need to read 5 to 6 books per month, every month. Starting off with the books that I've chosen from my shelves. First, I have Take My Hand. I was gifted this when I graduated with my master's, and I actually don't know what it's about, but I believe it is a historical fiction. Yeah, Montgomery, Alabama, 1973. So this is about a Black nurse in Alabama post-segregation, and I think we're just following her story from there. My friend who got this for me doesn't read, but she looked it up on Goodreads and was like, it had a pretty good review, and I was like, I appreciate you taking the time to do that, and I am excited to read it. I don't read historical fiction often, not because I don't like it, it's just not what I gravitate towards to as an adult. I used to read a ton of it as a kid, and so that might be something that I need to get back into. This next one is one that I had put on my wish list and kind of forgot about it. I feel like reviews started to come out and they weren't the best, but it's White Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson. My sister gifted this to me last Christmas, and I don't know how I'm going to feel about it. The only 2 books that I've read by this author are Monday's Not Coming and Grown, both of which I really enjoyed, and I do want to read Allegedly. Everyone says that that one is so great. I believe I'm supposed to be buddy reading that. And I feel like I've seen some reviews about this one that weren't necessarily great. So I don't know how I'm gonna like it, but I am going to give it a try. I'm at least gonna crack it open. If I'm not mistaken, is this like a haunted house something? Yeah, okay. Household items vanish, doors open on their own, lights turn off, shadows walk past rooms. I don't know if I'm a haunted house girly. I really don't know. and I had contemplated reading The Good House by Tananarive Due, but I think someone told me there was something in it that they didn't think that I would like, so we'll see how this goes. Next is This Poison Heart by Caitlin Barron. I read Cinderella's Not Dead and I enjoyed it. I am excited to read more by her. There have been quite a few things from her that I've wanted to read. I've heard mixed things about her thriller, about the summer camp or whatever, but I haven't heard terrible things about really anything else. I'm really hoping that I like this one. I know there is a second book. I don't know how long the series is going to be, but in this one, I believe the main character has some sort of like plant magic. Yes, something that has to do with plants and flowers. So I'm interested in giving it a try. Hopefully I like it. And again, I am interested in more about this author. So if you have a favorite of hers, let me know what it is. Next is Beasts of Prey. I have had this for a long time, and I believe book 3 is coming out sometime soon. All I know about this is that it has something to do with a night zoo and they have to go into a jungle. And I assume there will be animals, hopefully an animal companion. I've heard good things about it though. I also think that this might have gotten picked up for an adaptation. I feel like that's true. And I feel like it's Netflix. I don't remember, but I'm excited. Y'all know by now that I don't read synopses, so. Then I have A Song Below Water. I've heard really good things about this one. It includes Black Mermaids. This is the first in a duology, and I don't feel like I've heard a lot of people talk about that second book. So I'm interested to see if I like it. If I do enjoy it, I will go ahead and get the second one. But I'm just really excited to read this because I've had it for so long. This was a gift from, I think, Z. So yeah, I feel like I need to do a better job of reading things that people give to me. Next is Daughters of Jubilation. I know y'all have been telling me to read this for years. This one was a gift from Deshauna, I believe. I am really excited about this one. This one is a historical, I don't know if historical fantasy is accurate, but there is some sort of magical realism. I think maybe root magic, which I enjoy. Definitely want to read more books that have that. So I'm excited. I think that I'm really going to enjoy this. I honestly have not heard a single bad thing about it. Bonus, I actually have 7 books off of my physical TBR because I am supposed to be buddy reading Braid of Dragons with Robin. Were we supposed to read this in November? Yes. Clearly that didn't happen. It's okay. It's gonna happen now. I'm also roping Jess into this because this was one of her book club picks once and none of us read it. None of us. So hopefully we can rectify that and read it this month. I'm hoping that we all enjoy it. I do know there's a second book and I believe it's supposed to be a quartet. In this, we're following a main character whose family has been killed, and in order to get his revenge, he is maybe like infiltrating the military or something to get to the people who killed his family, something like that. But I like a revenge plot, so I'm excited. Then I have my most anticipated 2024 release pre-ordered, and that is The Eternal Ones by Namina Forna. This is the final book in the Deathless trilogy. I read books 1 and 2 last year. Both of them were on my best of 2023, and I cannot wait to see how it ends. In the first book, we're following Deka on the day of her ritual of purity, which is an annual tradition where young girls have their blood tested. If your blood runs red, you're considered pure. If it is gold, you are considered impure and cast out by your village, and our main character has gold blood. Highly recommend reading this series if you are a fan of young adult fantasy, because I honestly believe that this series deserves so much more hype. I cannot wait to read this, and the cover is beautiful. And the last one is another anticipated release. It is Heir of Roses by Asia Monet. This is the second book in the Cartel Elements series and follows Heir of Flames, which was another best of 2023, an honorable mention, but you get it. In this, we are following our main character Lexi in an arranged marriage to her brother's ex-best friend and the heir to the rival cartel. I'm really excited about this one. I cannot wait. I think it's gonna be so good. I loved Heir of Flames so much. I read it twice last year, and I'm really excited to see how their relationship works out. So those are all the books that I'm planning to read in February. Let me know if you have read any of them or if they're on your TBR. Otherwise, that's all I have for you today, and I'll see you in the next video.